So let's discuss the concept of development and its relationship with learning. So first of all, what is the term development? So development means the process of evolving and growing mentally, psychologically and emotionally. Unlike growth, it has no relationship with evolving of physical features. The development is continuous process, unlike growth, which is static procedure, which means that after a fixed time or period, growth abruptly stops, but development runs lifelong. Only death can stop it. The term development is related to several qualitative and quantitative changes that takes place side by side to growth and even progresses after the growth stops. Therefore, development could be defined as progressive series of mannered and coherent which means logical changes. Development is an indication that a person is moving towards maturation. During the process of development, new abilities and characteristics get evolved and outcomes in a progressive change or behavior of an individual. According to Jersild, Telford, and Sauri, development refers to the complex set of processes involved in the emergence of mature functioning organism from fertilized ovum. And according to E. Hurlock, development is not limited to growing layer. Instead, it consists of progressive series of changes towards the goal of maturity. Due to development, new abilities grow in man. According to J. E. Anderson, development is concerned with growth as well as those changes in behavior which results from environmental situations. And according to Hans Werner, development consists of two processes, integration and differentiation. Now let's discuss the characteristics of development. So there are six characteristics of development. First of all, the process of development starts since the child gets conceived in his mother's womb and stops till death, which means until it reaches maturity. And development occurs in an orderly manner, which means in a sequential manner, and there are following sequence which is followed in the process of development. First is infancy, which means a period from 0 to 1, then early childhood, which means a period from 3 to 8 years of age, and then middle childhood, which means the age from 9 to 11. Late childhood can also be called as middle childhood, and then adolescence, which means the period of teenage, which follows from 12 to 18 years of age, and then maturity, which means the age further to 18. And development is both qualitative and quantitative. As a child grows physically, he also develops the qualitative aspects of his personality. Thus, these two aspects are inseparable. And human growth and development is a very complex phenomenon since it is affected by a number of factors. Example, physical intelligence, emotional intelligence, the gender, etc. And it is possible to predict the rate of development by seeing a slow learner and a superior child, but it cannot be predicted accurately. An individual differ from each other in their pattern and rate of development, which means development is different for different individuals, and the pattern differs as well. And factors affecting individual differences are its heredity, endowments the means the god gifted or nature gifted phenomenon, and environmental factors. And now let's discuss the types of development. And there are five types of development, which are physical development, cognitive development, social and emotional development, language development, and moral development. So first of all, let's discuss what is physical development. So physical development is the most recognizable and observable change in the life of child. All the gross motor skills. Gross motor skills means the kind of skills which we do in the through the participation of our all body parts, which mean active participation of our body, such as walking, jumping, catching, and fine motor skills like painting, writing, and drawing. This development is largely dependent upon the child's health and nutritional status. This development is also known called maturation. So let's discuss cognitive development. First of all, what does the term cognitive means? Cognitive means to know. It is also denoted as mental ability of an individual, just like how we start recognizing direction after walking on a path several times. It focuses on how the children learn and process information. It is the ability to children to recognize their environment or the place they are living in as they grow up with the help of their senses such as seeing, listening, touching, smelling and tasting. Just like recording the kind of information in their brain and efficiently retrieving it from their memory. Cognitive development is the indication of the development of the intelligence. Now let's discuss social and emotional development. So these are the indicators of healthy social development among children. The seeds of this social behavior are sown in infancy itself. Young children love to be in the company of their friends. They develop social skills like sharing, cooperation, patience, and living in harmony, etc., in their interaction with their peers and their friends or others. According to Hurlock, social development means acquisition of the ability to have in accordance with the social exceptions. Emotions are stimulated or moved state of mind and are excitement or disturbance in feeling of an individual. Emotional development is the ability to control and manage one's emotion. It is important that children in their early childhood are surrounded by people who are emotionally mature and stable and are able to manage their emotions. Now let's discuss language development. Language is a medium through which people convey their feelings, thoughts, and ideas with one another. It is an important medium of communication. It is through language that one person is able to interact using various mediums of communication like writing, speaking, sign language, etc. Language is what distinguishes between a man and an animal as it helps to communicate to another using words and symbols to express their feelings, desires, or thoughts. Now, let's discuss moral development. Moral development is a development of conscience in an individual as he begins to understand the do's and don'ts in life, the ethics and ethical norms in life, and ability to judge and act morally. Children cannot make moral judgments until they achieve a certain level of cognitive or mental maturity. Now let's discuss growth and its meaning. So growth means the growth of different parts of human body such as height, weight, sexual organs, etc., as well as their ability to work. The physical growth affects our behavior and vice versa. Thus growth includes growth in weight which includes growth of muscles also. And Herbert Stevenson refers physical growth as big and heavy. Growth affects the physical factors of the body. Growth refers to increase in weight, height, and other proportions of the body. Growth also refers to the quantitative changes. Example, it is possible to measure how tall a child has grown over a specific period of time, and growth is fixed in nature. Now let's discuss differences between growth and development. So first of all, growth. Growth is a physical concept as it is related to growth in the physical proportions of a human body, whereas development implies the overall development of form and structure and development of cognition. And growth refers to an increase in size, length, height, and weight, whereas development refers to the growth in quality rather than quantity. Now growth changes in the quantitative aspects comes in the domains of growth, whereas development affects character or behavioral aspects of an individual. Growth happens for a fixed period of time and development happens lifelong until death. Growth is observable in nature as the change produced by growth are subjected to measurement. They may be quantified. For example, the weight of a person may be 50 kilograms, thus, it is a quantified identity. Whereas development implies the functioning and behavior of a person or how he perceives things, thus bringing out the qualitative changes which are different to measure and difficult to measure. Growth is one of the parts of development process. In strict sense, development in its quantitative aspect is termed as growth, whereas development is a wider and comprehensive term. It refers to overall changes in the individual, like enhancements of a personality. Growth may or may not bring development. A child may grow by becoming fat, but this growth may not bring out any functional improvement or development. Whereas development is also possible without growth. For example, if some children stop gaining weight, height, size, etc., but they do experience function improvement, which means qualitative change or development, whereas development is a qualitative process, and growth does not continue throughout the life. It stops when maturity has been attained, and development is a continuous process. Now let's discuss factors responsible for growth and development. First of all, heredity. So heredity is a biological procedure generally from based and passed on from parents to their children. The transmission of physical and social characteristics takes place, for example, looks, mental aptitude, height, weight, behavior, etc. It is believed that 75% of cognitive abilities of a child is derived from his parents, and it generally influences the different aspects of growth and development, like height, weight, and structure of body, color of hair and eyes, intelligence, aptitude, and instincts. Now, second, environment. It is an important factor in growth and development of an individual. It consists of the sum of total of physical and psychological aspects of an individual which he receives from his conception. The environment can be controlled to make heredity more favorable for an individual's growth. And now, nutrition. So, nutrition is an important factor in terms of an healthy development. The calorie intake for children in upper primary level, which means from first to fifth class, should be 450 calories, and that for children in upper primary level, which means 6 to 8, should be 700 calories. It is essential for the physical and mental development of child. A balanced diet structure which cover all the nutrients is essential for removing all the deficiencies and active cognitive development of a child. Growth and development of an individual mainly depends on its food habits and nutrition. The malnutrition has adverse effect on the structural and functional development of an individual or child. Now, sex. It is an important physical factor and distinguishes boys and girls as they both grow differently. The boys grow height, muscles, and courage development than girls, but the girls show rapid physical growth in adolescence and excel over boys. In general, the body constitution and structural growth of girls are different from that of boys, and the function of boys and girls are also different in nature. Now, early stimulation. First of all, what does the term stimulation means? So, stimulation means the corresponding change in the environment, and environment encourages the development of child's hereditary potentials. Example, talking to a baby or showing a preschool pictures in storybooks encourages his her interest in learning words and a desire and to learn and to read. A stimulating environment encourages good physical and mental development, while an unstimulating environment causes the child's development to fall below its potential. And it is said that 25% of child's development is based on its environment. And child rearing practices. So the way of practice to which a child is brought up also influences growth and development. For example, child brought up by strict parents is more obedient than the child brought up by permissive parents, and he tends to lack sense of responsibility. He have poor emotional control, and he tends to become underachievers in whatever they undertake. Now let's discuss stages of human development. So as we know that development happens even after the person has stopped the potential of attaining growth or physical maturity. The process of development continues even after the individual has attained maturity. The individual is continuously changing as she interacts with the environment. The changes of development have been classified into as below. First of all, infancy stage. So this is the first stage of the growth after prenatal and comprises newborn to 2 years old. So it is from birth to 2 years old age. So and according to the Erik Erikson's theory, the infant depends on the parents, especially the mother. The major development task in infancy is to learn whether or not other people, especially primary caregivers, regularly satisfy basic needs. The growth is mostly seen as an increase in size, shape, and weight. The cells become larger in size. The cervical and lumbar curvatures of the spine show up as the baby starts to straighten the head and tries to sit and stand. Second, secondly, childhood stage. This is the second stage. The childhood stage can be simplified into two stages, that is early childhood and late childhood. Early childhood age or toy age from 2 to 6 years of age. The early childhood is a time of the tremendous growth across all the areas of development. At this stage, child likes to work independently and can take care of his her own body and interact effectively with others. It is a sensitive period of language development. So in this period, the child tend to develop language, and it is the most tender period of development, and the child is able to work independently and take care of his and her own body and interact with others. In this stage, the child becomes a toddler with a more balanced adult like appearance. Despite the age of 4 years, child has mastered many skills such as sitting, walking, using toilet, using spoon, scribbling, and sufficient hand-eye coordination to catch and throw, and also communicate with others and solve problems. By the age of 6, most children demonstrate the fine motor skills. Fine motor skills like bicycling, walk, running, jumping, and all kind of activities such as painting, drawing, etc. A child learns to identify members of family and gets involved in his surroundings. So a rapid cognitive development is shown in this period as compared to infancy stage. Let's discuss late childhood stage, which is from 6 to 12 years of age. And in this age, a child refines his skills acquired during the early childhood period and learns new skills as well. At this stage, child gains height and also physical entities such as mass, number, and area. And according to Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory, labeled this stage of life as the latency stage, a time when sexual and aggressive urges are repressed. And during this stage, children learn the values of their societies. Thus, the primary development task of late childhood should be called integration, both in terms of development within the individual and of the individual within the social context. So, it is the period of the social and the emotional development of child. The social skills learned through peer and family relationships and children's increasing ability to participate in meaningful interpersonal communication, providing a necessary foundation for the challenges of the adolescence. And it is the broader line when the child transmits its age up to adolescence. Best friends are important at this stage, and the skills gained in this relationship may provide the building blocks for the healthy adult relationship. Now, adolescence. Adolescence is a stage from 12 to 18 years of age. and this stage is considered as a period of development and adjustment during the transitional period between the childhood and adulthood. So it is a transitional period between the childhood and the adulthood. And adolescence is defined as culturally constructed period that generally begins as individuals reach sexual maturity and ends when the individual has established an identity as an adult within his her social context. In other words, the primary development task of adolescence is considered as the identity formation. So it is the period where the child tends to build his her own identity, and it is a period where the boy starts to develop interest in sports and games, and girls tends to uh, develop their interest in dance or such activities which helps them to grow physically. And adolescence is an important period for cognitive development as well, as it marks a transition in the way in which individuals think and reason about problems and ideas. Adolescents are trying on a new role, new ways of thinking and behaving, and they are exploring different ideas and values. Erikson addressed this in his framework of lifespan development. With so many intense experiences, adolescence is also an important time in emotional development. Mood swings are a characteristic of adolescence. Now, adulthood, which is from 18 to 65 plus years. For a better understanding of adulthood, it can be divided into following stages. These are early adulthood, which is from 18 to 20 to 25 years. This is a stage of development bridge between pre-adulthood and young adulthood. This phase is considered as the healthiest time of life. Arnett suggests that early adulthood is a distinct period between 18 to 25 years of age where adolescents become more independent and explore various life possibilities. Now, young adulthood, which is from 25 to 40 years, and at this stage, strength and physical performance reach to their peak. Flexibility may decrease with the age throughout adulthood. Young adulthood is filled with and quest for intimate relationship and other major commitments involving career and life goals. Now, mature adulthood, which is from 40 to 65 years, there are some differences in mature adulthood. Some defines it between middle age 45 to 64 years, but Eric Erikson defined it as between 40 to 65 years of age. At this stage, vision of eyes could change, and many who did not need corrective lenses or eyeglasses may find that they need them. Now, aging adulthood, which is for 65 plus years, and aging adulthood is also called as late adulthood, which is generally considered to begin at the age of 65. In the late adulthood, a variety of psychological and physiological changes may occur, including some degree of atrophy of the brain and a decrease in the rate of neural processes. Now, let's discuss learning. So, learning is a key process in human behavior. It is defined as any relative permanent change in behavior that occurs as a result of practice and experience. The definition of learning are given below. According to E.L. Thorndike, learning is a gradual process where the individual will make many attempts to learn. According to Crow and Crow, the learning involves in the acquisition of habits, knowledge, and attitudes. Now let's discuss the relationship between learning and development. Learning and development are important and distinct uh, f- uh, phys- uh, phys- psychological processes. Development is a process which concerns the totality of the structures of knowledge. On the other hand, learning is provoked by situation or by teacher or by an external situation. Learning awakens the developmental process through social interaction with peers and teachers in such a way that it would not occur if the child were in isolation. Learning affects developmental, and development also affects learning. As a child grows, he learns about his surroundings and interacts with new environment. This helps in learning and developing his mental and behavioral abilities to adjust or survive in his life. Now let's discuss some questions based on this exercise. First question would be, development occurs in human being. So the answer of this would be throughout the life. Development is a process which occurs throughout the life. The meaning of development is progressive series of changes as a result of motivation and experience. And the third question is, which of the following statements is not correct about development? So its answer would be, development is not aided by stimulation. And the other options, each phase of the development has hazards. Development is affected by cultural changes. Each phase of development has characteristic behavior. Are true. Which of the following characteristic of development is an incorrect one? Development is a result of coincidences. It is false. Whereas there are individual differences in development, it is a continuous process and it is predictable, are true features of development. Which of the following statement about development is correct? So, all of these are correct. The rate of development differs from individual to individual. The rate of development differs at every stage in an individual. Development is a continuous process. All of them are correct. And sixth one, cognitive development means development of intelligence. So, cognitive means development of mental ability in a child. Now, the seventh question, in which the following conditions does the emotional and social development of the child will occur in a good manner? So, the answer would be, when the child is considered as important and his feelings are respected. And language development of children depends on uh, all of them: better socio-economic environment, better schooling, freedom of expression given to the child. Factors influencing the emotional development are all of the answer of this would be all of the above: physical health, mental abilities, and fatigue. What is the meaning of growth? Question number 10. The meaning of growth is to change related to the measurement. The changes happens in the measurement of weight, height, etc. Which statement about growth is correct? Question number 11. So all of them are correct. Sharp growth rate is seen at the time of spurts. Retarded physical developments retard social development too. The rate of growth during infancy and pre-adolescence is very high. Now the 12th question, the feeling of shame and pride develops in this stage. So the answer would be childhood. Vocabulary of an infant at the end of second year becomes, so the answer would be 150 words. The children of 6 to 11 years become proportionally thinner because they gained height during this period. Reasoning curiosity, question number 15. Reasoning curiosity and observation are developed at the age of 9 years. The development age of the difficult age of development is, question number 16, teenage, because of the mood swings and all the psychological and physical development. Adolescents get pleasure, question number 17, in the all of the above, in the company of their friends, by examining their body structure and psyche, in the company of opposite sex. Question number 18. The most appropriate meaning of learning is modification of behavior. Learning is, question number 19, all of the above. A change in behavior, the result of experience or practice, relatively permanent change in behavior. Now, question number 20. Which one of the following is indicative of learning through development? Option number third, both first and second. Recognizing symbols, numbers, and other things, and putting logical assumption for a situation. Now, question number 21. Development is a never ending process. This idea is associated with, the answer would be 2, principle of continuity, as development is a continuous process. Question number 22. In which of the following stages do children become active members of their peer group? The answer would be adolescence. Question number 22. Human development is divided into domains such as, the answer would be psychological, cognitive, emotional, and physical. Question number 24. Adolescents may experience, answer would be anxiety, concern about themselves. Question number 25. Which is the incorrect way to support the language development? The language development would be best supported by disapproving the use of their own language, and the development of language would be sorry the incorrect way to support the language development would be disapproving the use of their own language, and the development of language would be supported by letting the child talk uninterruptedly on a topic, supporting initiation taken by children, providing opportunities for using language. Question number 26. Human development is both quantitative and qualitative. Question number 27. Which one of the following provides information about the roles and behaviors which are accepted in a group during early childhood period? The answer would be parents and siblings. Question number 28. Which of the following age groups falls under later childhood category? The answer would be 6 to 11 years of age. The period of infancy is from, the answer would be birth to 2 years. Question number 30. In middle childhood, speech is more dash rather than dash. The answer would be socialized and egocentric. The place of development varies from one individual to another, but it follows dash pattern. The answer would be a sequential and orderly pattern. Question number 32. Which one of the following is correct about development? The answer would be socio-cultural context plays an important role in development. Question number 33. Early childhood is dash period for language development. The answer would be, it is a sensitive period. Question number 34. Which of the following is a sensitive period pertaining to language development? The answer would be early childhood period.